Brotherhood of the Bengal. Brotherhood of the Bengal. In the river fog we gather, striped and bound by autumn air. Hands on hearts we share the stories of the claws and...
What is up, Stevie boy?
Nothing much.
Nothing much. You've
Ready
been a
to
busy
go.
boy. You ready?
I'm
3 weeks,
ready.
dude.
3 weeks.
3
Let's
weeks
go.
from today, we will be at Hilltop for, well, probably about 9:41. We'll be in there close to an hour, waiting to get in.
Yes.
Maybe sneak in. Probably not.
Probably not.
Not that we would do that.
Ever.
We've never done that before.
No, just man, I've taken in as much content as you can, because you can't be at all these practices, of course. So taking as much content, listening, trying to, understand what some of these guys are talking about as far as what they've looked like, all the way from the defensive line to the receivers to the corner safeties, what we hope the offensive line will look like. That's I don't know. I'm starting to get a little leery on that, but maybe that's just how good the defensive line is. But how are you this bright, beautiful Sunday morning?
I'm good,
brother?
Stevie boy. I'm good. A little tired. It just doesn't feel real still a little bit.
Yeah.
Seeing preseason games, highlights, hoopla over guys that are probably not going to make the roster across the NFL, right? You hear that everywhere.
Yeah.
But it does feel real. Now you got some real games coming up, which we'll talk about later. From Ireland. You got a big football game from Ireland. So stupid. Australia, even more dumb, right? A big divisional game. Can you believe that? Waste a divisional game. God, the NFL's so filthy. Goodell. But we'll save that. We're going to be positive today, right, Steve?
Sure.
Right now edition. Why is it the right now edition? Because Burrow said he's tired to hear the old thing we've heard every year, including with a Cincinnati Redlegs. How'd that work out? Wait till next year. He is done waiting for next year, Stevie. Urgency is finally, truly in the building. Your thoughts on his comments?
Well, I love his comments. Of course, as soon as I heard him, I was like, "Oh Lord, here we go!" And the media, especially the national media, Orlowski, that's what they're thinking. They're not here. They don't understand his mindset this year. They're just looking at it as a negative because it's the Cincinnati Bengals, right? It's a click. It's something that they'll watch. People away from Cincinnati and people from Cincinnati can complain about because they said it. So, that's part of it. Yeah. It's bull. That's not what he meant by it. He's under contract. He's not going anywhere. They're not trading him. They're not releasing him. If they make the playoffs and they're out first round, he's not quitting. Yeah. He's not giving up. That's not who Joe Burrow is. He says he wants to win a Super Bowl for Cincinnati, and I think that's what eventually is going to happen. Do I think this year's the best opportunity he's had? Sure it is. Yep. Did the organization step up and do the things they need to make? Sure. Was there some things that they probably could have done better? Sure. But with all that being said, it is hard to do everything. Every team has holes. Every team's got an issue. We could go and listen to all these podcasts from all these other teams. You're going to hear the same sad story. So I knew as soon as I heard them that where the especially the national media would go with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even think about it honestly, but I don't really pay attention to hardly any media of any sort unless it's business related or something. So I kind of steer clear of all that. Just watch videos, form my own opinion. You consume a lot more content than I do. I know you don't watch the national stuff, but I just caught wind of it. Preparing for this show, seen something. I was like, if you're scrolling, you guys are familiar. We're on YouTube. We'll talk about that in a second. You're on YouTube and you scroll, they try to give you something you want, right?
Right.
Facebook is disgusting. You can't even get on it anymore. But YouTube's doing, I think it's genuine. You follow football. I understand it from that standpoint. So I see is Burrow leaving, it's like, what the hell? So then it clicked.
Like pretty much how I've seen it,
I didn't get that from what he said at all. I just thought it was like, hey, I'm ready to win, right?
Right.
I don't get anything about that you're trying to leave, but it's the, no offense to you few basketball fans that are left out there, it's the NBA culture mindset has taken over sports media long ago. people blame McAfee, who I can't stand, but they'll blame him. I like him better than the guys they're firing, though, right?
Sure.
But they'll go after him. Like I didn't, Levitar, who I don't like at all, never have. He was saying, I didn't watch it, so I'm not being fair here. But he's, the Pat McAfee, look what's done. The sports journalism was done was you when you were in there, Dan. That was you, Dan. You're part of the problem. So you look back at NBA culture, the NBA finals could be going on, or the biggest game of the year, and they're talking about where somebody's going to go 2 years from now when their contract's up. The NFL's not that way. They're trying to make it that way, but I don't think it resonates with fans the same. Basketball mindset is, oh, we're going to, he's not happy. He's going to, the NFL's guaranteed, the contracts are different. The salary cap is real. You just can't move players like you do in the NBA, right? You can find a way, but it's disgusting. But let's get back to the Bears. The Bears. I was planning on going, saw they were resting the starters. The Bears didn't. Let's talk about the practice. Talk about practice? Speaking of the NBA. Practice? So Dexter Lawrence, that's a nice play. He would have kept on running if that wasn't.
Yeah.
That was a nice. I tell you, you never know what's going to happen. You can always say that. You always put your caveat or your asterisk there to cover your ass, right? That's what everyone does. If he's healthy, I do know what's going to happen. He's going to dominate. Period. If he's healthy, he's going to dominate. It's not one of these, well, you never know. No, he's healthy. He's going to dominate, and it's going to dramatically make the defense better. You agree with that sentiment?
100%. Probably a top 10, top 15 scoring defense. I think they will give up some stuff on the back end at times. I don't know how good the linebackers are going to be. He is going to help that. I hope it doesn't turn into one of these 20-20, kind of drives, and then you stall them in the red zone, and then it takes 8 minutes off the clock. That's kind of I'm hoping, if they're in that top 10 or top 15 in scoring, I'm hoping it's because they're getting the ball back and they're giving the offense a chance to score. They're going down and they're putting points on the board, and then because it puts the other offense in such a turmoil on how they can run their offense because of pressures and because of this and that they get out of their game, right? That's what I'm hoping for as far as like the scoring aspect, not just because, when we get the red zone, we're going to hold them to 3.
Yep.
No, I want them get the ball back to Joe and let him go down and eat and get the ball to Jamar T and Chase Brown, and let's get this thing going.
Yeah, you look back at the history, and I'll do some work on this. I'm shooting from the hip here a little bit, so I'm not completely accurate as I'm thinking through all these past teams. But there have been teams. You get the mindset. You'll hear people say, if you're not a top 10 defense, you don't win a championship, and that used to be true. You look back, don't get me wrong. I think Tom Brady's he's the best quarterback that ever played. And I watched some videos of him doing some drills when he was at Tampa. He's old Tom Brady. It's unbelievable, Steve. I mean, it's his accuracy, the drills. Like, I bet you there's no quarterback could do that stuff today as accurate as he is. And, he was 40-some years old. So it was his mindset and his work ethic, right? But the part that, they want to dog Belichick now, that's how the media goes. But really, those Patriots teams were defense, the first 3. The first one especially. So those defensive teams, you look at, and the last one. So you beat 2 Rams teams that were elite offenses and held them to nothing. Both teams. Falk, Warner, Bruce, Holt, Belichick shut them down. He shut down Goff and all those guys, right? So back then you kind of had to have a really good defense, especially back their first one. You didn't see too many teams that would just, the rules were different, right? And you look back at the Niners, you never hear this team mentioned, but the 84 Niners pre-Jerry Rice, go look them up. Look at their defensive stats and their offensive stats. Most of those teams that won then, even the Bears in 85, I think they were top 10 in scoring and defense. Now, part of that's their defense is so good you're getting the ball back. But usually both sides of the ball were mirrored top 10, sometimes 1 and 2, man. Some of those teams in the 80s, like, golly, they're second in the league in scoring or first, and then on defense giving up the same. But you look like the Colts teams and stuff like that. I think what I'm getting at is I think you don't have to be a great defense, and I think that the numbers can be skewed because if their offense plays the way they think that we can, and the defense plays good early in games, they might get some big leads and give up a lot of junk points. The Colts did that a lot with Peyton Manning, right, and Dungy.
Right.
So you go, hey, we've got a 3 touchdown lead, or we're up 14 points. late, you back off, go. So hopefully that's the case. But this defense, and we're going to switch to the game now. Last night, if you saw any of it, I'm going to start with the defense side of the ball, and we'll talk about some of the rookies and things. So my first disclaimer is, don't get overly excited about young guys getting played. Now, no, listen, it's better than them not playing well. But I've been doing this for a long time. The vast majority of the time, everybody gets excited about this guy, that guy, this guy. It usually doesn't mean anything in preseason, right? Now, if they're playing really bad, sometimes it does. But some of the young guys are playing well. But on defense, what I want to point out, there's some holes there. There's some things going wrong. But Al Golden, super aggressive. They are sending the house, exotic blitzes. I think that's how they're going to be. And I love it.
I do too. It's going to be a little different from what we've seen in the past, especially last year. I kind of go by practice and what I see in the game. Now, we can only go by what we hear in practice and then what we see in the game. So I think some of these young guys, and even the 2 and 3 year guys, the ones that's taken a while to develop, I'm really hearing Miles as just having a tremendous camp, right? And I know that's different than the guys that played last night, but it wasn't that too long ago.
No.
You know what I mean? Like DJ Ivy had a good camp.
And they played again. The Bears ones played early.
Yes.
Ivy's in there. They held him to a field goal. Made some plays. Right?
Yeah. So when you look at some of the stuff, you might see the growth coming. Some of these guys, unfortunately, maybe a little late, but maybe a lot of them are peaking at the same time. And another thing you got to remember, a lot of these guys on contract year.
Oh, yeah.
And
play better in contract year.
Guarantee you, it happens. You don't think Miles Murphy wants to make $25 million a year? He goes out and gets 12, 15 sacks. Bengals ain't going to be able to touch him.
No,
they ain't going to be able to touch him. And he wants to make the cash. And, I mean, when you look at some of these receivers, Colby Young and Myers and those guys, I kind of go by Myers in a little different way.
He's played a while.
Yeah, because he played pro ball, right? I mean, over 1,000 yards receiving. And I think they only play, 12 games?
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you see him catch the ball, he looks different.
He looks
like
an
NFL
slot receiver.
He does. Who is 6 foot tall, by the way?
Yeah,
he's not 5'8".
He just moves.
Yeah, he's as big as Jamar. Jamar's 5'11".
He's a smooth.
You know what I mean?
mover.
He's smooth. He's quick. He's agile. Excuse me, but when you look at all these young guys and you see how they're kind of coming into their own, just from what we're hearing, we still got to see it. I understand that, and like you said, I'm still pumping the brakes as much as I possibly can. But with that being said, I am going to be optimistic about this because they're going to need all these guys. Dax ain't going to play every game. DJ probably ain't going to play every game. They're going to need DJ Ivy or one of these young guys to step up and be that number 3 and that number 4. And, I heard Davis he's had a great camp.
Yeah.
He's been aggressive. You know what I mean? I guess he's a talker from way back. So didn't realize that about him. But let's just, like you said, pump the brakes. But we can still be optimistic enough to be like, you know what? If all these guys put together at the same time, watch out.
Yep. I think, like the optimism is just for the young guys that haven't done anything. But the Dexters, the Jonathan Allens, the guys they brought in, that's real.
That's real.
That's
right.
real.
And there's plenty of them at every level, right?
Yep. So I want to talk a little bit about the offensive line last night. If you watched it, you got the false start on Rivers. He was playing left tackle last night.
Yeah,
there's been
cracks on
left tackle. That's where he should be. I said it all along, his body type. But then your boy Cody didn't look too good.
It ain't my boy Cody.
Cody Ford, man, I just don't understand the fascination with this guy. I get that he's a nice guy. I get that he can play other positions, but I don't think he plays any of them well. But at least he's not out there at tackles. The offensive lines looked a little shaky. Orlando, when they did play the starters, kind of looked shaky. I'm not overly concerned about it. But if you could point out you pick something that concerns you out of this team right now, I think it is a little bit the offensive line. But you haven't seen enough to really know.
No. And
depth is a concern there for sure.
For sure. And, without these guys getting a bunch of reps in games together and only getting against these same guys on the defensive line every rep over and over and over, it's not like these guys doesn't know their tendencies, right? And it should go the same way, for the offensive too. But the thing of it is, when you're doing extra stuff on defense, like like they're trying to do, it's what's happening is that offensive line, they're more conceptive to those issues than I think than what the defensive line is, just because it's that familiarity, right? Yeah. You're not going against different guys. It's a continuous, like same rep over and over and over. But the offensive line, they're doing the same thing. You know what I mean? The defense is not.
Yeah.
They're doing all kinds of stuff, stunts, blitzes.
Any games you're preparing for that.
Yes, you are.
I mean, a lot of teams would run like, screens to beat. Oh, wait, not the Bengals. Worst screen team I've ever seen in my life. I'll say it again. It's bad. I don't understand it. Worst screen team ever. Not overly concerned about the screen game, but I just wish they quit calling. But here we go. So let's talk about what's upcoming. I'll put that to bed. So here we go. They're not going to play again next week. So preseason's getting to the point where it's pretty meaningless. I guess back into the roster. I don't know. I have reasonable minds can disagree on that. I think I'd get the reps in and get going. But they are playing more games now, so I get it, I guess, to a degree. All right, upcoming. So we are available on all of your favorite podcast apps. We are on YouTube if you're watching us today. Spread the word, share, like, subscribe, tell your brother, tell your enemy, tell your family, tell your ex-wife, your side girl, your girlfriend. Tell them all. Right, Steve?
Tell them all.
Just be careful how you tell them. If that's your scenario, be careful. I don't advise that scenario, by the way. So, yeah, today, Stevie Boy is not drinking. His stomach's hurting, so I'm not drinking either. It is a Sunday morning. I am smoking a Placencia. It's my first one of these bad boys. Not bad. Not bad. I'm getting a little low on stock, Steve Boy. I spent a lot of money on cigars last 2 months. Had to take a little inventory here. Whoa. I'm smoking a couple a day there. That adds up when you're smoking Perdomo. So I think I'm not a Perdomo. So good stuff, though. Good weather, finally done with the rain. So coming up, we will have our weekly, just so you know, our weekly podcast. We'll do our picks, save the bets for last, which is our last segment of every episode. We'll do it today, week 0, college football. Tune in for that. And every week we'll do our Bengals pick straight up. And they may make the spread even, right? Who knows, Stevie Boy? We do 4 picks NFL, 4 picks college. We will compete against each other sort of just to see what our record is. At the end of the year, Stevie Boy will try to be worse than he was last year, and that is a hell of a challenge. Upcoming on Rare Breed Scouting. Starting today. RareBreedScouting.com. The quarterback rankings are kind of done. I'm waiting to launch those. Changed a few. A lot of hubbub around a lot of quarterbacks. We're not going to get into the judges involved in sports. That's the problem with sports. They pushed it on themselves, the NCAA and all that jazz. People trying to return to college from the NFL. What a joke. Tis the world. So we'll talk about, I'll write all that, the NFL draft coverage, the Bengals preseason profile, forecast, whatever you want to call it, will be up soon. All of that should be up next week. I'm waiting to launch a couple things there at the same time. So we'll do that, rarebreedscouting.com, and we'll cover that here as well. Draft prospects to watch. We're not going to do that week 0. So 3 weeks from today, Stevie Boy, we will be at what is formerly known as Paul Brown Stadium. We will be doing a podcast probably right now from right outside the practice bubble. And we love it. Hilltop. But as long as your daughter doesn't have a baby then. She needs to get this thing out of the way. Come on, girl. Let's go. Football season. So we'll do that. Buckeyes, 2 weeks from yesterday, or 1 week from yesterday, right? 2 weeks from yesterday, the Buckeyes will face Ball State. And then I just thought about this week, Stevie Boy. The Buckeyes at the Longhorns that Saturday night. I'll be up late, so I'll either be happy or moody on the ride to the game.
Probably moody, probably happily moody.
I think they're going to win. Got money on it. I got money on it. I know you're surprised by that.
You're never satisfied anyway. Well, they won, but you know.
I'm telling you, kids. Let's talk about the Buckeyes real quick before we transition. I'm going to say this. Julian Sayin is ready. Joe Burrow is ready. Julian Sayin got thicker bigger, new offense with Arthur Smith. You never know, right? I mean, the talents they're going to move the ball, but he is an accurate thrower, right? I think he's going to be underrated. Got a shot at the Heisman, of course. Jeremiah Smith and all that jazz. But this team's ready to go. Tough schedule. Real quick on the quarterback rankings, the Maivia kid from USC. A lot of people are down on him. Don't have him at the top. Who's always different? Me.
Oh.
Who's always right? Me. I mean, let's think about it. Now, see, like we get back to these rookies that, it's – I'm not saying it's fool's gold because you want to see, but this year – so look at the quarterbacks I like, Stevie boy. Drew Aller, how's he looking? Yeah. Klubnik. But that doesn't mean anything because if you threw them in a regular season, that's my point. If you threw them in a regular season game 2 weeks from now and they're starting, it's not going to go well, right? But Aller's throws, unfortunately, I wish he went anywhere but Pittsburgh. They always seem to draft the guys I like. A couple other rookies playing really well as well. Few injuries, few controversial things going on. Let's talk about roster battles as we see it. I'll get back to the Bengals. You got all of a sudden, we'll use the word room even though we don't like it. All of a sudden, that wide receiver room is getting a little tricky, Stevie boy. Obviously, you got Chase Higgins, Yoshi. Kobe Young's going to make it for what they have invested in him. You got to think Charlie's going to make it, Charlie Jones, because it's special teams, right? So now you're 5. And then you got Myers. You got Tinsley. I think Tinsley will make it. Keep 6. What do you think? I don't know. It's getting pretty tricky after that. But Myers would be hard to let him go right now.
Yeah, they'll keep 6. I seriously think that the odd man out's probably going to be Myers. The reason why is I think they can stash him. I think he'll clear.
He might.
And then remember, if any team picks him up, it has to go on their 53. Mm-hmm. So that's the big thing about, well, then some other team can just pick him up once he clears. But no, that ain't how it works. Nope. You got to put him on 53. That means there's a spot that's got to be available.
If you get him on your practice squad, right?
Right. And I think they will because every other team had an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he's like completely balled out to where he's like, oh, he's like a number 2 or number 3. It ain't been that. He's just had a good spring, right? Mm-hmm. He's only had limited opportunities anyway. I'm sure there's, I know other teams go on other team social media sites because they look for video. I've heard them say it. So I'm sure other teams are going to like Paul's and James's, and they're watching videos and I mean, they can watch this stuff just as well as we can.
Especially the game last night,
right.
Too.
So I'm sure they're aware of the spring is out. I just think he's the one because I think Charlie's did too much. They like him too much. He's had a good spring too. I mean, he got wide open last weekend and Josh Johnson, I think. It was Josh Johnson underthrew him. So, I mean, he was wide open. He had 3 or 4 yard separation. Had a good spring. Yeah, that room is really it's good. It's a good problem to have for sure.
Yep,
for sure.
Offensive line, we kind of know what's happening there. The tight end. So Sample's going to make it. Gesicki will make it. Tanner Hudson, all he does is catch touchdown. Keyshawn Johnson Jr. Will he make it? I don't know. They're keeping all. You can guarantee that. So Sample, Gesicki, all. I think they'll keep Hudson and then injuries, don't you think? That's 4 tight ends.
That'll be another one they try to squeeze on the practice squad, be injuries. I think
so.
Will. Yeah, like I said, every other team could have drafted him too, and he went to the 7th round. So.
Yeah, you never know though. Everything's changed. Teams rosters change. Injuries, blah blah blah. So running back to be Brown, P. Ryan, and Brooks. Now the defensive line's pretty tricky, right? I think we know Mafe, Allen, Lawrence, Murphy. Shamar. Have you heard anything on Shamar lately?
I wonder if they don't start him on the pup
because
you can start multiple guys on the pup now, and he can return after 4
weeks. I hope that's not the case, but it's kind of shaping up that way. Cassius Howe obviously will make it B.J. Hill, T.J. Slayton. And now you get a little interesting. You got McKinley Jackson, Chris Jenkins, and Landon Robinson. Cedric Johnson, he'll make if your scenario plays out, Shamar's on the pup, Cedric Johnson will make the roster. Mark it down.
Yeah.
He plays well, man. You give him a chance. He's not big, but we say it every time at camp, right? The guy plays well. But it's, you got McKinley Jackson, Chris Jenkins, and Landon Robinson. I think only one of those 3 make the roster, and even that's debatable. I think one of them will. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got a 2nd round pick in Jenkins, waste, 3rd round pick in McKinley Jackson, Waste. That's why it's just better that Duke goes and signs free agents and stays the bleep out of the draft because he's not good, dude. Landon Robinson, a 7th-round pick. Pick one. Who's making it?
Landon and I believe Jenkins has got the best shot.
You're going 2?
Yeah. Well, they've got the best shot. I don't know who makes it.
That'd be 8 linemen. I mean, I know they're playing.
Because they both, I mean, Jenkins has had a couple good preseason games. He's had pretty good camp too. So, I mean, there ain't too many guys, I keep saying this, but there ain't too many guys that haven't flashed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a
good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. And it's going to be tough to cut down for sure.
Then you got
and remember they don't cut down like they used to.
No.
They cut
it's not phased.
No, it's not phased. So.
Should be, but it'd be better for players if it was phased.
Yeah.
Trying to make other rosters, right?
Yeah.
So Cario Davis getting a little chippy, isn't he?
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I don't know about that kid, though. I don't have high hopes for him. So the guys I wanted ahead of him, again, take it with a grain of salt. Some of the Raiders guys, they're playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them ahead of him. They went after, right? So we'll see how it plays out. But he definitely got some upside. Also, we don't talk about him unless he does something wrong. How about Money Mac right now?
Killing it.
He's kicking the hell out of the ball, dude. That matters.
He's a weapon. He's going to be a weapon. Yeah, good year last year.
Yeah,
he's almost like an offensive
smoking.
lineman. Like unless they do something bad, we don't talk about him. But dude, he's got a howitzer on that right leg, as our boy Dave Lapham would say.
Speaking of Lapham, nice segue, buddy. If I'd ask you to do that, there's no way you'd pull it off. No offense, of course.
Yeah.
So, changes in the Bengals booth. Tony Pike is joining the crew this year, right?
Yes.
I'll give my 2 cents and let you go because I don't want to lead the witness, as they say. Nothing against Pike. Nothing against anybody. I don't like 3-man booth. I think all they do is talk over each other. I think it's going to be tough for Dan to flip it over. I'm sure they're thinking Lap's going to leave at some point, which is true. Do I like Pike? He's all right, I guess. To me, he's just more of that generation a little bit, which turns me off, right? He's a little bit too much goofy stuff. But overall, he's better than most, I think. I can deal with it, but I wish they would just waited, let him do preseason games, do whatever. I don't like the 3-man booth. Your thoughts?
I really don't care either way. I don't ever listen to them, but the highlights of Dan and Lap anyway, I really don't care either way. I mean, I think he's going to do some other stuff. He's going to be on the Booth podcast. He's going to do a small segment with Dan here and there. I'm like you. He's nothing spectacular, but there's a lot worse out there. Right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he knows the game. I'm not knocking his knowledge of the game. I just think he gets a little too goofy sometimes, which is most of them. So,
and he does speak his mind pretty decently,
he does.
too.
Yeah, he absolutely does. So, kind of like, one of the sign of the times there, too. That's not good. I don't mean sign of the times as Dave's getting older, and I had a couple older folks I know pass in the last couple of weeks, and you think about it, like, last point on this, like the legends I grew up with, announcer-wise, were light years better than anybody today. It's not even close. I mean, Al Michaels is old, and he's still better than anybody today. Madden, Summerall, Marty, Vince Scully. You can Kirk Gowdy. I mean, Trumpy, Cricky. They're all better than the guys today. So as that passes, there's nobody on the bench, right? Because the other people on the bench kind of act the same, and it's not professional. It's what you talked about the national media earlier. It's clickbait. How can I be an idiot, right? Get people look at me. Kind of sad, but that's just the way it is, right? You just got to deal with it. All right, on to a brighter note. Week 0 is here. It's time for Save the Bets for Last, our first one of the year. Stevie boy, can you be better than you were last year? Be honest.
No, I cannot.
You cannot?
I cannot.
Just let the record show you were horrible last year.
Yes.
Embarrassingly bad, and you don't think you can be better.
No.
No. Excellent.
I told you I was striving to be worse.
It's going to be hard to do, too. When you're that bad, that's pretty tough. We don't have a lot of games. We're going to do 4 anyways. There's 3, 6, 7, 8 games this Saturday, starting off with the Tar Heels. Under Bill Belichick drama there, hard to believe. Bill should have stayed away from that young lady. I think that's messed him up a little bit. In Ireland, Stevie boy, Ireland, the Tar Heels of the North Carolina University of North Carolina face the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian Union, TCU, otherwise known as. Good programs. They battle it. That's the game of the day, in my opinion. Yeah, easily the game of the day. You want to go your 4 first or my 4 first, Stevie boy? Hopefully we don't agree on everything. We do not talk about this beforehand, do we, Steve?
We did not. You can go first.
I will go first. Thank you. Let the best started out, the legendary picker, one of the best in the history of the universe and the world, Scotty D. I like Bill Belichick's Tar Heels. It's tricky because they are playing in Ireland. Plus 7.5 versus the Horned Froggies. I like the Cavaliers of UVA, Virginia. Minus 5.5 versus NC State. Odd divisional or conference game out of the gate. The Stanford Cardinal, Andrew Luck, run the program from way up against the Rainbows. They still call the Golden Rainbows, whatever, from Hawaii, minus 6. And the UNLV Tart, the Shark Running Rebels, minus 5.5 versus the Memphis Tigers. What do you got, Stevie boy, for your 4 picks?
I got plus 7.5 North Carolina. I'm getting the points. I like it. And
that hook, that half hook means something.
Yeah. I am also going to go USC over San. Yes. It's a big one, 38.5.
Yep.
38.5. I am going to go with Virginia over NC State. That's a 5.5.
Yep.
And Florida State, another big one.
The Noles.
Over New Mexico State at 30.5. So, yes, I am on my way to an even worse year.
You love those big point spreads, man. You love them. Usually on the other way. You usually take the dog. You're changing your philosophy.
Yeah.
You're going with the favorites.
I got to do something to be worse.
So, last year, the team you loved was what? Oklahoma State. Good team to like this year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, is it going to be the Noles? Florida State. You gonna bet on them like you did?
I got at least see a week or two go by before I fall in love with somebody and see if they're gonna screw me all year long or not.
That makes sense to me, Stevie boy. That is good strategy. Well, there you have it. There. Think long for entertainment purposes only. Of course, not actually.
So if I was to do that in a parlay, I am getting plus 12, 14.
Do it. Bet $5. Your normal. Or are you gonna go like $3?
I might get 50 cents.
50 cents. Got him all choked up. He gets so excited.
No, that's not why I'm choked up. That's all right.
He gets so excited about bets, he gets all choked up. Gets nervous. Well, there you have it. Week 0 of college football. It won't be long. We also do, I forgot, we do Thursday night games as well, don't we, Stevie boy? Every week. We'll keep track of our college record. We'll keep track of our Thursday night record bets, which we both did well on that last year. I was dominant on Thursday night. We will pick the Bengals straight up, right? See what our record are, picking Bengals. We both did pretty well last year on that one. We saw the writing on the wall, unfortunately, went the other way. And then we'll do our NFL picks against the spread. We'll have 4 categories. It will be published on rarebreedscouting.com. Coming up, take us home, Stevie boy.
Also, traffic, stay the right. Peace out, guys.
Voices rise.